Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, welcome everyone for the deity worship seminar, online home deity worship seminar. It's a very important service that is given by our parampara to all of us, that is deity worship. So today we'll try to understand various aspects, and next 3 days, in fact, we'll try to understand various aspects of deity worship. So before that, let's start by chanting prayers. We'll all chant together. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Twayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपादं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् So welcome once again for the Home Deity Worship Seminar Day 1. And we dedicate this presentation to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So just now, before coming here, we were having a discussion on Prabhupada's pastimes in Brahmacharya Ashram while having prasadam. Just imagine what Prabhupada has done. It's a miracle what Prabhupada has done. The task of establishing or installing Sri Radha Krishna deities all over the world is not an easy thing. And Prabhupada did that. Prabhupada took hippies and he converted them to happies and made them devotees. And literally, by his mercy, they were all able to do deity worship. It's so wonderful that our dear grandfather, Srila Prabhupada, he has given this opportunity to each and every person all over the world. This has never happened. No Acharya in the past has done this. No Acharya. If we go to any parampara, even our parampara also, if we go trace back, no Acharya has done this of taking the risk of establishing or installing Sri Radha Krishna deities in different parts of the world. In fact, just now we were discussing in Australia, Srila Prabhupada installed the Radha Krishna deities, and he offered a prayer to them that, oh Lordships, please take care of yourselves and take care of these people also. They don't know anything how to do deity worship. And another place, so devotees were so at that time very new, and there was no one to teach them how to do deity worship. There were no manuals at that time. Nothing was available at that time. It was only Prabhupada who knew things, and then he was not at one place. He would travel from one place to another. He will install the deities and he'll tell them do arti, and then he'll go to another place and another place. At one place, devotees made turnable altar. So Prabhupada came to that place after a long time, after installing the deities, and then he saw one deities and he paid obeisance. He got up and the deities were changed, and then he was completely amazed. What happened? And devotees were like, Prabhupada, we have made turnable altar. And Prabhupada shouted at them like anything. Another place, Prabhupada went after installing the deities. He went to different places again. He came back. It was Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra deities there. And when Prabhupada came to the temple, devotees were not there. Deities were also not there in the altar. Altar was empty. And then so one devotee was roaming around doing something. He asked, where are the deities? Where are devotees? Then at that time, they said that they have gone. Everyone has gone to beach. Now Prabhupada was amazed, like, beach. And then he went to the beach and they were carrying Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, and they were walking. So Prabhupada asked them that, what are you people doing? So the devotee said, see, Prabhupada, they might be sitting in the altar and getting bored. So we thought, let us take them for a walk. Then Prabhupada said that this is not the way you take them for a walk. You have to build a rath and then do Rath Yatra for them. Then it is possible. Then it's a proper way, a Shastric way, to take them out of the temple. And at another place, Prabhupada went, and then Prabhupada was having Rajbhog Prasad. In ISKCON, we have 6 times Bhoga offering. So the different times. And the afternoon Bhoga offering is the very grand Bhoga offering. 21 items are offered with a lot of sweets and a lot of savories and other things. So Prabhupada was eating sweets and there was no sweet in that. And then Prabhupada asked, what's wrong? What's the problem? Now, why no sweet is there? Krishna likes sweets. Why sweet? There's no sweetness in the sweet preparation. And the devotee said, Prabhupada, we are making calorie-less sweets so that Lord can enjoy nicely. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. What Srila Prabhupada has done, we cannot imagine. And no one can do also. Going to a Western country, teaching them our Indian philosophy, that is Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, initiating them, giving them Diksha, making them eligible to do deity worship. Oh, it's not a normal thing. Not a normal thing. In all glories. All over the world now we see that such grand worship is happening in all the temples. All the temples, whichever temple we take, same time 4:30 everywhere the conch shell will blow early morning and the altar will open, same tune everywhere will be sung, the arti, same paraphernalias will be offered. It's so amazing. And devotees who travel all around the world for their business work or something, they say that wherever we go, prasad is available. Because everywhere ISKCON centers are there. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, because of whom this has manifested. And now we see that each and every house, in all the devotees' house who are connected to ISKCON, deity worship is happening in every place. Obviously by his mercy. So we seek his blessings of our spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada, and the entire Guru Parampara, so that they empower us to do deity worship in our homes and convert a mere home into Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavan. So let us start with today's session. And let me tell you all, initially itself, I have promised multiple things. Maybe the waking up of the deities, I think it will not be possible today. I'll cover it tomorrow. So as we always say, that entire life is a preparation and death is an examination. And what are we supposed to do? How will we pass the examination? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter 5th shloka, Anta kale cha mame vasmaran muktva kalevaram. So he's saying that anyone who remembers me at the time of death will actually come back to me. So entire life, what are we doing? As devotees, as Krishna conscious devotees, as active members of ISKCON, we are preparing our entire life so that we can remember Krishna at the time of death. We have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, read books, hear different lectures on these various topics of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So when we do all that, yes, we can, as Prabhupada says, we'll be able to remember Krishna. But at the same time, Prabhupada has also given us various other things like deity worship and so many other festivals, Rath Yatra and other things, so that all these things will help us at the time of death to remember Lord Sri Krishna. Now we see in different parts of India, different people, all of them have their own way of worshipping. Even when it comes to ISKCON devotees also, we have seen the altar will be somewhat the way they want. Wherever they will, whichever place they'll go, they'll get one photo and hang it in the altar. And anytime do worship, do whatever you want. And people say, Bhava Bhakti, Prabhuji, Bhava Bhakti. It should be in the heart. But then see, one thing you have to understand, if the goal is attaining Krishna, and if life is for preparation, then the preparation has to be done very, very properly. Like for example, suppose we have to give some exam. So we have to refer to the right books. Like for example, a person is studying in engineering college and then he's referring to MBBS books. How will he pass? In this way, no, our acharyas are very, very merciful. They have given us right things, and we are just supposed to follow, whatever is given. So just a couple of months back, for 3 to 4 months, when I was a dumb person, I was not able to speak. So the only service that I was able to do was deity worship. So at that time, since I was meditating on that, so I thought, let me make a manual. So I sat and then went through various manuals, and then I was thinking that how all of us, can do a proper deity worship at home without investing much time and without taking much tension. How can everyone do deity worship? This was my meditation, and then we went through various books. Like there is one book which is recommended by ISKCON GBC, that is called as Pancharatrika Pradipa. That's the official book by ISKCON. There is another manual by ISKCON Vrindavan. So they have given how they worship in ISKCON Vrindavan. And there's so many other temples, which they have released their manuals. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he is commenting how to do deity worship. Then Kapil Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam, he is telling how to do deity worship. Narada Muni is instructing Dhruv Maharaj how to do deity worship. So now going through some of these, we have tried our best to make a manual of few pages. I guess some 10 to 12 pages it is. And this is the rock bottom thing that we have designed. Rock bottom thing. And just by doing this rock bottom thing, our worship will be complete. With confidence, we are saying. Because this is what has been given by Parampara, and this is what we can do. This is the initial rock bottom thing anyone can do. And again, there is nothing below this. So please let me make it clear also. Nothing below this. Yes. So the worship that we're going to discuss from today onwards, max in the morning, it will take 30 minutes max. And in the evening, another 10 minutes. That's it. So total 40 minutes of deity worship the entire day, considering the entire day. So this is what we're going to discuss. But when it comes to PPT, I've made elaborate PPT so that we understand the mood of deity worship. We understand the reasons behind what we are doing. Because when we understand the reason behind, the science behind, then with a lot of enthusiasm and with a proper mood, we can do deity worship. So with that, there is elaborate PPT. So don't get overwhelmed saying so much is there. But then very, very, very little will be there at the end, which I'll be speaking about the procedures. So now the first question that we need to ask is, this is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is Sankirtan. So where is this deity worship coming into picture? Sankirtan, that's enough. It's very clearly mentioned. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Kalau nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyatha. In the age of Kali Yuga, chanting of the holy names of the Lord Hari, chanting of the names of Lord Hari, chanting of the names of Lord Hari is the only way. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other. When such statements are made in Vedic scriptures, then why we are supposed to do deity worship? Let's try to answer this question first, and then we'll get into today's discussion. So why deity worship in Kali Yuga? We know in different yugas, different methods are given. Kritayadhyayato Vishnum Tretayam Yajato Makhai Dvapare Paricharyayam Kalau Tadhari Kirtanat. Satyuga, it was meditation. Treta Yuga, it was yajna, that is fire sacrifice. And in Dwapar Yuga, it was deity worship in the temple. And Kali Yuga, it's Hari Kirtan. Then why are we doing deity worship, and why are we having a seminar of 3 days on deity worship? Let's try to understand this. So there are two systems in devotional service. One is called as Pancharatrika Vidhi, and another one is called as Bhagavata Vidhi. Let's try to understand these two concepts, very, very important. So Pancharatrika Vidhi, let me talk about Bhagavat Vidhi first. So Bhagavat Vidhi basically is what we are doing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. That is chanting of the holy names, reading reading books, hearing lectures, associating with devotees, coming together, doing Sankirtan. So all that comes in Bhagavata Vidhi. And Pancharatrika Vidhi is where we take Diksha. And then when we start worshipping deities. So worship of the deities, rules and regulations, all that comes in Pancharatrika Vidhi. And Shravanam Kirtanam comes in Bhagavata Vidhi. And in the age of Kali Yuga, Shravanam Kirtanam is enough to get delivered. So why is it mentioned that even deity worship is supposed to be done? Let's ask Prabhupada directly, because Prabhupada is the one who has taught us deity worship. So let's ask Prabhupada, why? Why are we supposed to do deity worship in the age of Kali? So I'm going to read out different purports of Srila Prabhupada from different books that he has given to us. And this will actually clarify that why we are supposed to do deity worship in the age of Kali Yuga. And you all also can simultaneously read when I'm reading. So here, this is from Chaitanya Chaitamrit, Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 152 verse. In the purport, he says, sometimes neophyte devotees think that they can continue the Shravana Kirtana process without worshipping the deity. But the execution of such Shravan Kirtan is meant for highly developed devotees like Haridas Thakur, who engaged in Shravan Kirtan process without worshipping the deity. However, one should not falsely imitate Haridas Thakur and abandon the deity worship just to try to engage in Shravan Kirtan. This is not possible for neophyte devotees. So, we all belong to this category of neophyte devotees. We are nowhere in comparison to Haridas Thakur, who would be chanting 192 rounds every day, which would take 22 hours. So we are nowhere in comparison to him. So Prabhupada is talking about us, and he's saying that we shouldn't falsely imitate Haridas Thakur, saying that, oh, Shravan Kirtan is enough, I'll not do deity worship. In another purport, he's saying, although deity worship is not essential, see, Prabhupada himself is saying it's not essential. The material conditioning of most candidates for devotional service requires that they engage in this activity. What is the condition? What is the conditioned state of the candidates? That is, he's talking about us. When we consider their bodily and mental conditions, we find that the character of such candidates is impure and their minds are agitated. Therefore, to rectify this material conditioning, the great sage Narada and others have at different times recommended various kinds of regulations for deity worship. So here Prabhupada is talking about two important things that all of us are suffering with. The impure character and agitated mind. So what does deity worship do? Deity worship helps us to rectify our character and or purify our character and pacify our mind. Yes. Because only when this is proper, then there is some hope that we'll be able to sit and chant attentively. Right? So in this way, Prabhupada is very clear about this, that deity worship has to be done by the neophyte devotees for two things. First, purify one's character, and second, pacify one's mind, pacify one's agitated mind. Right? Now, next thing that Prabhupada is saying here in another purport, and also I forgot to tell, here Prabhupada is talking about Narada Muni. So Narada Muni is the personality who has actually given the manual for deity worship. It is called as Narada Pancharatra. And from that only various things are derived and various things are taken, and which is given to us in the form of Pancharatra Pradipa by ISKCON GBC. So Narad Muni is that personality, who is talking about deity worship. Then Prabhupada says another very important point. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can reach the platform of love of Godhead. See, this is what is the goal. Love of Godhead is the goal. And chanting of the holy name is enough. But even though the chanting of the holy name is sufficient to enable one to progress in spiritual life to the standard of love of Godhead, one is nonetheless susceptible to contamination because of possessing a material body. See, till the point we have this material body, it will get contaminated because we are associating with the three modes of material nature. So, it is Prabhupada is saying, consequently, special stress is given to Archana Vidhi, that is deity worship. One should therefore regularly take advantage of both Bhagavata process and Pancharatriki process. So it doesn't mean that we have to give up chanting and hearing and just do deity worship. No, both has to be done. Why both has to be done? We'll see in the future purpose. Here Prabhupada is saying, Grahastha devotees, that is people who are married, must adopt the Archana Vidhi or deity worship according to suitable arrangements and directions given by spiritual master. See, whenever we say deity worship, it is the instruction that the spiritual master is giving in the parampara. That is actually deity worship, not whimsically doing something. So when we get instruction from the spiritual master that do this particular thing, then that is actually considered as a service. And especially when it comes to deity worship, this instruction is very much important. Regarding those unable to take the deity worship, regarding those unable to take to the deity worship in the temple, there is following statement in Agni Purana. Any householder devotee circumstantially unable to worship the deity must at least see the deity worship, and in this way he may achieve success also. So suppose it's difficult for a person to do deity worship at home, then that person can stay close to the temple and every day come to the temple for all the artis. This is what Prabhupada is saying. The special purpose of deity worship is to keep oneself always pure and clean. Grasta devotees should be actual examples of cleanliness. So this is an elaborate purport that Prabhupada is giving to the shloka Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam in the Prahlad Maharaj pastime. So here we can understand very clearly that this Pancharatrika Vidhi, why is it so important? It actually helps the person to become pure and stay clean all the time, because the rules and regulations are given to maintain that purity and cleanliness. So when we have that purity, internal purity, external purity, internal cleanliness, external cleanliness, then now the person can actually take to Bhagavat Vidhi very, very nicely. His chanting can be focused. He can do Shravanam very, very attentively. He'll be able to focus better. That's what we understand. So purification, deity worship actually leads to purification on a very, very faster note. Prabhupada continues in another purport where he's saying, now this is a very, very important purport which talks about both Bhagavata Vidhi and Pancharatrika Vidhi. Comparison is there so that we understand why deity worship in Kali Yuga. Lord Narayan is worshipable by the Pancharatrika Vidhi or regulative principles, whereas Lord Krishna is worshipable by Bhagavata Vidhi. See, Prabhupada is giving us clear-cut differentiation between the two. So Narayan, the incarnation of Lord, is actually worshipped as by Pancharatrika Vidhi, by rules and regulations. Lord Krishna is worshipable by Bhagavata Vidhi, that is Shravan, Kirtan, etc. But now Prabhupada is saying no one can worship the Lord in Bhagavata Vidhi without going through the regulations of Pancharatrika Vidhi. So without sufficient purification, we cannot attain success in Bhagavata Vidhi. This is what Prabhupada is saying. Actually, neophyte devotees worship the Lord according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi or the regulative principles enjoined in Narada Pancharatra. So the regulative principles which are given by Narada Muni in the book Narada Pancharatra, that is meant for the neophyte devotees so that they follow that, get purified very, very properly, so that they can relish the higher realm of spirituality. Here Prabhupada is talking, but then we will have a question that every temple, Prabhupada, you have installed Radha Krishna deities and now you're telling that worship Lakshmi Narayan. Now, how to understand this? So Prabhupada is saying, one should strictly follow the Vidhi Marga, regularly, regulative principles in the worship of Lakshmi Narayan. Although the Lord is present in the temple as Radha Krishna includes Lakshmi Narayan. So the incarnation, Lakshmi Narayan is the incarnation. So that is already included in the Radha Krishna deities. Therefore, when one worships the Lord according to regulative principles, the Lord accepts the service in the role of Lakshmi Narayan. So when we are actually worshipping Radha Krishna in the neophyte stage, so we are actually, when we follow the regulative principles given in Pancharatrika Vidhi, so the Lord accepts that worship as Lakshmi Narayan. This is what Prabhupada is saying here. Another very, very important point. So what are we supposed to do while doing deity worship? Srila Jiva Goswami therefore instructs that the other processes such as Archana, Vandana, Dasya, Sakhya should be executed, but they must be preceded and followed by Kirtan, the chanting of the holy name. Archan, Arti, Bhoga offering, deity dressing and decoration are all preceded and followed by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So it's like we are doing Pancharatrika Vidhi, we are doing deity worship, but we are continuously chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra also. Like in ISKCON we see after every bhoga offering, deity dressing, immediately when the arti happens, simultaneously there is kirtan that starts. In every ISKCON temple we'll see this. And same thing is expected at home also, where we are doing deity worship and we are singing also. And again, Jiva Goswami is saying, so Prabhupada is quoting Jiva Goswami in 6th canto, 3rd chapter, 25th shloka. Srila Jiva Goswami says that although Sankirtan is sufficient for the perfection of life, the archana or worship of the deity in the temple must continue in order that the devotees may stay clean and pure. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur therefore recommended that one follow both processes simultaneously. We strictly follow his principle of performing deity worship and Sankirtan along parallel lines. This we should continue. So, what we have understood till now, what Prabhupada is saying? Prabhupada is saying is that Pancharatrika Vidhi is important for neophyte devotees so that we can progress very fast, so that we can get purified, stay clean. And then, since we are regulated in our day to day activities, especially for deity worship, it will be easy for us to take to or effectively do the Bhagavata Vidhi, that is chanting, the Shravanam Kirtanam basically, chanting, reading, hearing, etc., whatever. So all those Bhagavata Vidhi mark which is given. So one thing we have to be very clear here, that the Pancharatrika Vidhi is actually acting as a great support for Bhagavata Vidhi. Finally, whatever we are doing, we want our chanting to be effective. We want the Bhagavatam Vidhi that we are following to be very, very perfectly followed. And Pancharatrika Vidhi gives a push, gives a good support so that we can very fast become purified and come to a stage where we can relish chanting of the holy names. And another point where Srila Prabhupada is making is about the Sankirtan and the deity worship. So, what is Prabhupada saying here? So, Prabhupada is very clear that deity worship and Sankirtan should go parallelly. So, when we are doing deity worship, continuously we should be chanting. Either we'll be singing Vaishnava bhajans or we'll be singing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, this has to go on. And at another place in Nectar of Devotion, that is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada is mentioning and basically is elaborating on the point what Rupa Goswami is saying, that the Sankirtan actually completes the worship, completes the deity worship. If, suppose while doing deity worship, we have left something here and there by mistakenly. So when we are chanting the holy names of the Lord continuously, that particular thing covers up whatever we have left. So both of them go parallelly. This is what is a very, very important point now that we need to understand. And then this is a shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita, a very important shloka. These are five very important the elements of bhakti which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, is giving to all of us. He says, Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavata Shravan Mathura Vasa Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan. So he's saying Sadhu Sangha, association with devotees, Sadhu Sangha. Then Bhagavata Shravan, that is hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Sadhu Sangha, Bhagavata Shravan, and then he's talking about Mathura Vas, visiting the various holy places, staying in the holy places. Yes. And then he's talking about the Murti Seva, Sri Murtira Seva. Obviously, Sankirtan, I forgot. Sankirtan, that is chanting of the holy names. And fifth one, he says, Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan, serving the deities with lot of faith and devotion. That's what he's talking about at the end. So, five basic elements of bhakti. And these five are enough to attain perfection. What are those? Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. Second, Bhagavata Shravan, hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Third, Nama Sankirtan, that is chanting of the holy names of Lord Sri Krishna. That is chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then fourth is, what's the fourth one? The fifth one is deity worship. Mathuravas. So Mathuravas, that is staying in Dham, visiting Dham regularly. And fifth one is the deity worship. So these are the five things. If some sadhaka, that is all of us, if we can do, then sure shot, he's saying that we will attain success. And then he continues and he says, the beauty and the power of these five basic elements of bhakti. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, this is again a quote where he says, Durhadbhuta viryesmin shraddha dure stu panchake yatra swalpopi sambandha sadhiyam bhava janmane. So he's saying that the power of these five principles, The 5 things that we just discussed is very wonderful and difficult to understand. Even without faith in them, a person who is offenseless can awaken his dormant love of Krishna simply by being a little connected with them. Can you imagine this? So it is called as the most powerful elements of bhakti. Rupa Goswami has given 64 elements of bhakti in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There are different. He has made a very elaborate description of what are the different angas or different elements of bhakti. Means what all devotees can do in their day-to-day life while practicing bhakti. And he has given a number 64 and very nicely he has given step by step what are the different things. And the last 5 are these. Last 5 are these what we just discussed. So rest 59, what are they talking about? So here Rupa Goswami, he's giving these. Where is it? Yeah, 64 limbs of bhakti. Last 5 we just discussed, which are most potent. And rest of the 59 which are there, in that 35 are related to deity worship. Now you can imagine how much importance is given to deity worship by our acharyas. Because they understand that for a sadhaka to progress very fast, to have that connection with the Lord in this baddha state, in this sinful body, it's very much needed not to do deity worship. So in this way we understand that when it comes to Kali Yuga, obviously Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma, but then we also need an auxiliary, and that is deity worship. And to talk technically, so we talk most of the things technically and logically. So here is a slide which talks about that. See, what does Pancharatrika Vidhi do? Pancharatrika Vidhi helps the person to raise from Tamoguna to Sattva-guna. Because when someone follows rules and regulations given in the Shastra, so even if the person is in utter darkness and Tamoguna, that person will be raised to Sattva-guna by that wonderful instructions given by the Parampara. So now, when the person comes to Sattva Guna, now to go to Shuddha Sattva, Bhagavat Vidhi helps. Where finally the person attains the ultimate destination. Right? So in this way, see how nice transition is there from Tamo Guna to Shuddha Sattva. So Pancharatrika Vidhi, where it talks about the rules and regulations, it helps the person to go up till Sattva Guna, and the chanting of the holy names and other wonderful elements of bhakti in Bhagavata Vidhi helps the person to get raised to the platform of Shuddha Sattva. And in Shuddha Sattva only, one can experience Krishna, one can attain Krishna, one can break the cycle of birth and death and go back home, back to Godhead. So in this way, we understand after going through this Pancharatrika Vidhi, Bhagavata Vidhi, that they are like railway tracks. Both are important to attain the perfection of life. So this is a point that we all have to be convinced of before we start thinking of doing deity worship also. That deity worship helps the person to become regulated. Deity worship helps the person to get purified faster so that he can start relishing the relationship with Krishna in the form of his holy name, form, qualities, pastimes, and so on. Yes. So there is another statement given. I don't know if it is there in the slides. So there is something called as in Ashtanga Yoga. They close their eyes and then they try to meditate on the form. Yes. So can we also do that? Is it possible that we close our eyes and we'll be able to get the form of the Lord? Let's try to understand this particular point. Basically, we're going to discuss now the benefits of deity worship. So here in Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami has given a very beautiful verse, one of my favorite verse, and Prabhupada is giving purport to that. That verse goes like this: Smeram bhangi traya parichitam sachi vistirna drishtim vamshi nyasta dharakishalayam ujwalam chandrikena govindakhyam haritanumitaha keshitirthopakanthe Ma prekshishthastava yadi sakhe bandhu sange stirangaha. So in this particular verse, Rupa Goswami is saying that, oh my dear friend, don't go there. Where? Keshi Tirtha. Don't go to the Keshi Ghat. What is there in Keshi Ghat? In Keshi Ghat, there is a person who is standing. What is that person doing? Smeram Bhangi. He's standing in threefold bending forms. Traya Parichitam. Sachi Vistirna Drishtim. He's standing in threefold bending forms and he's glancing sideways of his eyes, sidelong glance. Sachi Vistirna Drishtim. Vamshi Nasta Dhara Kishlam. What else he's doing? He's playing his flute. And Ujwalam Chandrikena. In the moonlight, he's standing. Ujwalam Chandrikena. And who is he? Govindakyam. He's Govinda. He's Krishna. Govindakyam. Haritanumita. So he's saying that don't go there. If you see that personality, oh friend, if you see that personality, you will lose all taste for material life. So better don't go there. So basically, Rupa Goswami is saying, Are, you fool, go there and take darshan and go back home back to God. And what are you doing? So to this particular verse, Prabhupada is giving a purport. A very nice purport Prabhupada is giving here. If someone becomes attached to the Sri Murti or deity of Krishna, by worshipping at home, then he will forget his relationships of so-called friendship, love, and society. Thus, it is the duty of every householder to install deities of the Lord at home and to begin the process of worshipping along with all his family members. See, look at the statements very, very scrutinizingly. Please read all this. These are instructions of Srila Prabhupada. This will save everyone from such unwanted activities as going to clubs, cinemas, dancing parties, smoking, drinking, etc. All such nonsense will be forgotten if one stresses the worship of the deities at home. So now we understand why deity worship is so important at home. Just by doing deity worship at home, all these things will fall in place. All the auspiciousness will be created at home. And the best thing that will happen is all the family members will come together at that particular time to serve the Supreme Personality of God. Now, another question which I started this particular section, that is, we are exposed to so many material things. Now, when we close our eyes, what do we remember? Answer yourself in your mind. What will we remember when we close our eyes and we try thinking about Krishna? Whatever nonsense we have seen in the outside world, the banners and the posters and the advertisements and all the nonsense, we'll remember all that. So now the question is, how will we be able to meditate on the form of the Lord? So Prabhupada says, open your eyes, don't close. Open your eyes and look at the beautiful form of the Lord and meditate on that form which you're looking. So no need to close the eyes, look at the beautiful form of the Lord. Yes. So when we are doing deity worship, now we'll see in next 2 days that how when we are doing deity worship, it is very obvious and it becomes mandatory to meditate on the beautiful form of the Lord. Very, very mandatory. Because we are worshipping, so where else we'll look? We have to look at the deity only. So in this way, while doing deity worship, the person naturally meditates on the beautiful form of the Lord. Now just imagine if someone is doing this every single day. Every single day is meditating while worshipping. Why will Lord not give his remembrance at the time of death? Why will not he get that? So a very, very important point is just by doing this every single day, that form, the beautiful form of the Lord will get imprinted on our minds. What are the other benefits? Let's try to see that. So here, there is another shloka, which is a very, very important shloka. There are many, many rules and regulations given in Vedic scriptures, but the essence of all the rules and regulations is this, now which has been put on the slide. Smartavyah satatam vishnor vismartavyo na jachuchit sarve vidhi nishedasur etayor eva kinkarah. So this particular verse says, what is the essence of all the Vedic rules and regulations? Two things. That is, first, always remember Krishna. Second, never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. This is what is the essence of all the Vedic rules and regulations which are given. And all the rules and regulations, they become servants of this particular rule that is there. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And this is very nicely accomplished in deity worship. How? The person will keep thinking, oh, okay, now flowers are not there. I have to get flowers for the Lord. Ghee has got over. I have to get ghee for the Lord. I have to make garlands for the Lord. Oh, festival is coming up. I have to decorate the altar. And anytime we get something in our house, a new mobile, a new laptop, new clothes. Oh, first I have to offer it to Krishna. And then that's how continuously the person will remember. When the lady is cooking in the, Mataji is cooking in the kitchen, now she will think, yes, I'm cooking for the Lord. I have to offer this first to the Lord. So in this way, what will happen? Remembrance of Krishna becomes very easy while doing deity worship. Yes. And especially all the ones who have been doing deity worship from quite some time. Now they might be knowing this, that whenever we go out to any shopping place, everywhere we'll just keep seeing what can we take for our deities. So from dressing ourselves, we'll start dressing the deities. Yes, and we'll start worshipping the deities like that. So this Smartavyam Satata Vishnu becomes very, very easy, when it comes to deity worship, when someone is doing deity worship. Yes. And then here, this is a very important purport that Srila Prabhupada has given for all the Grihastha devotees. If someone can just follow this purport, that person can actually attain perfection by living a very, very happy life. Look at this purport. Let me read it for all of you. If one is in the full Krishna consciousness, he can make his home very happy, because this process of Krishna consciousness is very easy. Now, how is it easy? Four things Prabhupada is mentioning. One, need to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Second, accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. That is, accept prasadam. Third, have some discussions on the books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And fourth, engage oneself in deity worship. These four will make one happy. Now look at the confidence of Srila Prabhupada. He's saying, just do these four, you'll be happy. And you know what? When we do deity worship, all four of them are accomplished. First, chanting of the holy names. We are doing Aarti. Now we'll chant the Hare Krishna Kirtan. And when we are doing japa, sitting in front of the altar and doing japa, there's a different bliss altogether. So automatically we'll feel like doing japa. We'll feel like doing mantra meditation or chanting of the holy names. Second, Prabhupada is saying accept prasad. Now it becomes very natural. While doing deity worship, we offer naivedya, we offer bhoga. So we'll accept prasad. So that is very natural. Third, Srimad Bhagavatam, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, as soon as we read about Krishna, saying Krishna is stealing butter, Krishna is doing this, Krishna is doing that. So when we're reading it, automatically our eyes will go, you are the one who are doing it in the altar, isn't it? And then finally, the last line Prabhupada is saying, deity worship. Deity worship in itself, the entire steps Prabhupada is talking about. So just by doing these four things, a person can be happy and attain perfection. And just by doing deity worship, all these four are accomplished at home, basically in the house. So in this way, we understand so many benefits are there when it comes to deity worship if someone does it. But then now we have to understand all these things are there, but with what mood am I supposed to worship the deities? Let's understand that now. So mood of worshipping the deities. First, this is a very important mood that I am the servant of my deities. I'm kinkara, I'm servant, and not the controller. Never we should think, oh, look at me, I am the one who is doing everything. If I don't feed, this person will starve in the altar. I am the controller. So there is no question of this thought. He is the supreme controller, and we are just serving him. That's it. See, when it comes to Supreme Personality of Godhead, he manifests in various forms. Yes. So, like for example, he is there in Goloka Vrindavan. It's like the cloud waters, water in the cloud. And then when the rain comes and when the rivers are flowing, so they're compared to different avatars, where the Lord comes and he goes. So rivers are flowing in rainy season, it will dry up in other season. So those are like different avatars. And then some of the rainwater, it will go percolate and go underground. So groundwater is compared not to Paramatma. So it's not accessible. Groundwater is not accessible. But deities, they are compared to tap water. They're always accessible. So Lord is so merciful, where he's manifesting himself to all of us so that we can worship him and serve him and get purified in our and our entire existence, when it gets purified, we'll attain the perfection. Right? This is the mercy of the Lord. So where is the question of feeling that I am the controller, I am doing something? We are doing nothing. We are just trying to serve the Lord. And who is giving the power to serve the Lord? He himself is giving. Next. While doing deity worship, this is the mood that I want to follow instructions given by Parampara and not instructions given by my mind. This is another important thing. So yesterday I was talking to Harikshatra Prabhu, and Harikshatra was saying, nowadays deity worship is like, Now someone goes to a birthday party and then he sees that, oh, they bursted the balloon like this and they did this particular decoration and that particular decoration. Deity worship has become like that. We go to someone's house for birthday party, we see all this, and at the same time we see the altar. Oh, this was good. I think I should also get that and put it here in my altar. This is not called deity worship. Now, it's not about we doing ourselves what our mind dictates to us. Deity worship means what is told by our parampara. Because when we follow what is told by parampara, since they have already attained perfection, they are telling us now what we are supposed to do. And just by following that, we will also attain perfection. See, we have to be very greedy. I always say this, we have to be very greedy. Rupa Goswami says, Laulyam, be very greedy. And in this greed, we have to think, see, I've got very, very short span of life. In this short span of life, I'm supposed to attain Krishna. I have to attain perfection. How is it possible? I've got my office work, and students have to study. A household work is there, and so much things to manage. In this short span of time, how can I attain perfection? And acharyas are giving all the shortcuts to attain perfection in this short span of time. But the problem is when we start hearing our mind, all the problems will come. We'll not be able to move in that shortcut, but we'll take some long cut, and sometimes it will take us to some wrong direction also. So following the parampara while doing deity worship is very, very important. What have my acharyas told me to do? I will do that only. It's not that I heard something from the TV, early morning shows which come, or I've read something in the newspaper, or some of my relative is doing something, so I'll also do that. No. What has my acharya told? What shastras are talking about? That is actually called as deity worship. This is the mood. I want to follow my parampara, and I want to follow what the shastras are talking about. Next one. Next one is this. I want to engage all my senses in service of Krishna, and I want to use everything that I have in service of Krishna. See, basically, what does sadhana bhakti mean? Sadhana bhakti, sadhana, when we say sadhana, what does sadhana mean? Sadhana means engaging all the senses in our body in service of the Lord. That is called a sadhana. And when we do deity worship, actually, all the senses get engaged in service of the Lord. When it comes to eyes, we are seeing the beautiful form of the Lord. When it comes to nose, we are smelling the flowers offered to the Lord. When it comes to tongue, we are eating prasadam, or the prasadam that is given by the Lord, very, very mercifully. Ears, we are hearing the kirtan, when we are worshipping the Lord. And when it comes to sense of touch, we are doing various seva. When it comes to walking, we are walking around to get various paraphernalia for the Lord, and so on and so forth. All our senses we are using in service of the Lord in deity worship. And naturally, when someone develops the taste for deity worship, and when he's doing every single day, he would want to offer everything that he has to Krishna. Oh, Krishna, everything is yours. Nothing is mine. This house is yours. All these members are yours. Everyone is yours. Sometimes people say also their deities, they have the names of the deities, and they say that this house belongs to them. I'm just a caretaker. I'm just a servant here. That mood comes automatically. That mood will come of servitude, because we'll keep seeing Krishna being worshipped so nicely at home. Now, nice bhoga is offered. First, the bhoga will go to him. The garlands will be offered to him. All the artis we are doing. So every day when you're doing this, automatically that mood will come. Yes, he is the center of the house, and we all are just servants and nothing else. And when Krishna is the center and everyone is serving Krishna, husband, wife, and kids, tell me where will be the disharmony coming into picture? There'll be harmony all the time. And even if there is a disharmony due to some problem, everyone will have no option but to come for the arati. And in that, everyone will harmonize. So in this way, when we do deity worship, everyone gets connected to Krishna. And through Krishna, everyone gets connected to each other. Right? So this is the mood basically. First is I am a servant and I'm not the controller. Second, deity worship I want to do like my acharyas have told, my parampara has told. Third, I want to engage all my senses in service of the Lord, because this body belongs to the Lord. Fourth, everything that I have with me, including my people, everything I want to engage in service of the Lord. So this is the mood of deity worship. And when we do this very, very perfectly, automatically, the whatever we discussed about purification and benefits, all that will come. Next. Now let's try to understand the deities. So till now we have discussed few points. First, why in the age of Kali Yuga we have to do Sankirtan? Sorry, in Kali Yuga, if Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma, why are we doing deity worship? Then second thing that we discussed was the benefits of deity worship. And the third thing that we discussed just now is the mood of deity worship. Now the fourth thing, let us try to understand the deities. So this is the shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto. Shaili daru mahi lauhi, lepya lekhya cha saikhati, manomai manimai, pratimashta vidhasmrita. So it is saying the deities are made up of five different metals. Different material things. What are those? Shaili or Shila, that is stone. Darumai, that is Daru means wood. Lauhi means metal. Lepya means earth. Lekhya means painting. And Saikati means sand. Manomai means in the mind, imagining the form of the Lord and worshipping. Manimai, made up of jewels. They all are called as Pratima. They all are called as Pratima or deity. Right? And in our current deity worship seminar, we're going to discuss about Lekhya, that is painting or the photos. So we're going to discuss how we can worship the photos very nicely. So we have to understand very clearly that Lord is personally manifesting in all these different forms made up of all these material things. Now, many times people have this question: how come Lord is coming in this matter? He is coming just so that he can facilitate this engagement of we serving him. If he comes in a spiritual form, since we don't have premanjana, we don't have love for God, we'll not be able to see. So Lord personally manifests in these forms. And there's no difference between the Lord and his forms manifested in these various material things. So here it is given in another place that how this Pratima is non-different than Krishna. It says, Pratima naha tumi sakshat vrajendra nandan vipralagi kari tumi akarya karana. So he's saying that Pratima naha tumi sakshat vrajendra nandan. So here, this particular devotee is saying that you are not just a pratima, you are not just a statue. Who are you? Sakshat Vrajendra Nandan. You are Sakshat Krishna. Now is there. So when we are worshipping the Lord, now we understand He's Sakshat present. He's so merciful, so merciful. Just because we are moving incense, just before we are moving this or offering ghee lamp and offering bhoga, from his Goloka Vrindavan, he comes to our house to accept another offering. Can you imagine this? And every house he'll manifest. Wherever worship is happening, Krishna is so merciful that he'll manifest himself to accept our service. Why? There is no one to do service in Goloka Vrindavan. Sahasra Shata Lakshmis are there to do seva in some Brahma, very, very, very respectfully. But still, Lord is coming here to accept our service. Why? So that we become purified and go back home, back to Godhead. How merciful the Lord is. Just imagine how merciful the Lord is. So whenever we see our altar, this is what has to come in our mind. How fortunate I am and how merciful the Lord is that He has manifested in front of me to accept my service. And unfortunately, I'm not able to do proper service to the Lord. This mood has to come. And when this mood comes, everything will manifest. And all the purification, whatever is needed, will manifest. Right? Next. So we have discussed a lot of things now. It's a theory. Now let's get into practicals. The first topic which I want to discuss is setting up an altar. What type of altar should be there at home? Now, one thing is very clear that we're going to discuss about an altar which is told to us by our Acharya and the Parampara. That's how the altar should be. And different elements in the altar. We need to understand. Many times people ask about demigods. Can we keep demigods in the altar? Ask Acharya. If Acharya says, keep, then we have no problem. Let's see what Prabhupada is saying. So Prabhupada here, he gives a very strong purport to 18th chapter, 65th verse, Manmana Bhava Madbhakto, that particular verse. He says, one should concentrate his mind upon Krishna. Now, who is Krishna? That also description is giving. The very form with two hands, carrying a flute, the bluish boy with a beautiful face and peacock feather in his hair. Look at the description detail that Prabhupada is giving. There are descriptions of Krishna found in Brahma Samhita and other literatures. One should fix his mind on his original form of Godhead, Krishna. One should not even divert his attention. Look at the strong statement that Prabhupada is making. One should not even divert his attention to other forms of Lord. The Lord has multi forms as Vishnu, Narayan, Ram, Varaha, etc. But a devotee should concentrate his mind on the form that was present before Arjuna. What is our Acharya saying? Good. Srila Prabhupada is telling us worship Krishna, meditate on Krishna. One pointed. And see, it's very logical also. If the person is worshipping various demigods and various other forms and things like that, at the time of death, whom will he think about? And if there is no focused worship, no, what is expected? What impression will be made in the mind? See, something is better than nothing. That is good. But we are talking about attaining perfection. We are not talking about something. Now we are talking about everything. We want to attain perfection. How can we do that? Just here Prabhupada is saying, meditate on Krishna. And at various places, Prabhupada is saying, how can we meditate on Krishna? By worshipping Krishna. Simple. So we need to have Krishna in the altar. And Krishna will not come alone. He has to come with Radharani. So Radha and Krishna will be there in the altar. Right? This is the first photo that is very much needed in everyone's altar. Radha and Krishna. Second, now we see when Prabhupada went to West, whom did Prabhupada take with him? So this is the photo of the first ISKCON center, a matchless gift shop converted into a temple. So the circle that I've made with the yellow color, so that is the photo of Panchatattva. That is Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivas Adi, Gaura Bhakta Brinda, Panchatattva. And if you see, every day before chanting every round, we are chanting this Panchatattva mantra. When Prabhupada went to West, first thing that he did was got the painting done of Panchatattva. And only Panchatattva was there in Prabhupada's altar there. And whatever bhoga was cooked was offered to Panchatattva. Because in the age of Kali Yuga, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has descended, who is Krishna himself. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahiyanya. There is no difference between Radha and Krishna and Sri Krishna Chaitanya. But there is a difference of mood here. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come only to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls. That is all of us. So when you are worshipping Panchatattva, since they are very, very merciful, even if we do some offense, no, they're like, "Theek hai, chalo, chalo, hamara hi bachcha hai. Kaliyug ka bachcha, chhod do." It's okay. So he'll be in that mood. No, they will forget. They'll forgive and forget also. Yes. So worshipping Panchatattva is very much recommended, by Srila Prabhupada, and we see that in his own act when he started ISKCON, the first photo that he started worshipping was Panchatattva, and that's what he taught to others also. Another very important deity, which we see, which Prabhupada has made sure the photos are there or deities are there in altar, is Narsimhadev. And this is the Narsimhadev from Mayapur. Yes. So this worshipping of Narsimhadev is again done by Srila Prabhupada, where after every arti in ISKCON, Narsimha arti is sung. And invariably, everyone who comes to ISKCON, the first arti that they learn is Namaste Narsimhaya Prahalada Dadadai. Yes, this is the first arti that everyone learns. So Narsimha arti is favorite of all. And Narsimhadev is that form of the Lord who has come just to protect his devotees, remove all the obstacles from the path of bhakti so that the devotee can attain the service of Radha and Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So that is what is the merciful form of Narsimhadev. So Prabhupada made it sure that Radha Krishna should be there in the altar, Panchatattva and Narsimhadev, they should be there in the altar. And obviously, how can we forget the parampara? Yes. So parampara, this is Guru Parampara, who have mercifully given us the service of doing deity worship. Without them, how can we think of doing deity worship? Right? If we have some adhikar of doing deity worship, it's only because of them. They have given us the seva adhikar, that yes, you go ahead and do it. So their presence in the altar is very, very important, because they are the ones because of whom we are able to worship the Lord, we are able to chant the holy names, we are able to understand about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in total, these are the 4 photos which are very much needed in the altar. Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, and the third person in the photo is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And down we see 5 personalities standing, that is Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas. And on the right side, we have Lakshmi Narsimhadev. And below, we see that this is Parampara, the Guru Parampara starting with Srila Prabhupada. And this is the sequence also in which the photos have to be kept in the altar. We'll understand why when we go through the seminar on the day for the Aarti thing, when we understand, then it will be very clear that why the sequence should be like this. And this is what is the tagline that we need to have: simple altar, elaborate worship. See, when it comes to the Grasta devotees, there's so much to do, isn't it? Office work is there, household work is there, kids are there. Sometimes kids replace the deities also in the altar. That's what is the situation. So altar should be very simple, but the worship that we do should be in accordance to the parampara, what the parampara has told us. At times we see that immaturely many photos are kept in the altar, and it becomes a big task, where they fight that no, you do the worship today, I'll not do, you do the worship. No, sometimes parents will tell the kids, no, you go and do. Kids are like, no, I don't know, do something, go do something and come. So simple altar is what is needed, and simple altar should be a complete altar. And I told you how these 4 photos complete the entire altar. And henceforth, whatever we're going to discuss, it's all about how to worship these 4 photos. When in a very authentic way, in a very systematic way. This is what will be our discussion. And finally, last few slides to go. Now we are actually starting with the various technical aspects of the deity worship. So in the Shastra, we have something called as Panchanga Puja, and these are the 5 elements of Panchanga Puja. What are those? Abhigamana, Upadana, Yoga, Ijya, and Swadhyaya. So Abhigamana basically means when we approach the altar, in what way am I supposed to approach the altar? Upadana means now I'm supposed to start worshipping, so I have to collect all the articles for worship. Yoga means meditating on my own constitutional position. Who am I as when it comes to my relationship with the Supreme Lord? What is my relationship with Supreme Lord? Ijya means worship, actual worship, where we're doing Aarti, Bhoga offering, and other things. And Swadhyaya is basically studying the Vedic scriptures, chanting the holy names, so that we come to a certain position in Krishna consciousness and devotional service. So today what we'll do is, in next 5 minutes, we'll just discuss Abhigamana, and we'll discuss the method of purification, that is Achman, sipping the water. So this is the procedure that we're discussing for today. So all of us might be doing this, but then still, it's since the manual is talking about this, I'll just explain this also. So what is Abhigamana? Approaching the altar. So we need to approach the altar. How we are supposed to approach the altar? It all starts from the time when we get up. So it is recommended that we get up early in the morning and then immediately offer obeisance. As soon as we get up from the bed, we have to immediately offer obeisance. Wherever we are, we can just pay obeisance there and chant the pranam mantra of Guru, Gauranga, and Radha and Krishna, or any deities that we have at home. If we don't know pranam mantra, at least we can say this. Like the photos that we just displayed was Gandharvika Giridhari. So we can pay obeisance and say that Shri Shri Gandharvika Giridhari Shriman Mahaprabhu ki jai, Lakshmi Narsimhadev Ananta Dev ki jai, Shri Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So when we get up, first thing that we do is pay obeisance. Wherever we are, in whichever place, on the bed or down, doesn't matter. So we pay obeisance first, and we tell this. This is how we prepare our mind early in the morning. We remember the Lord. The first thing that we do is we remember the Lord. And obviously clean oneself externally by brushing the teeth and taking bath. Multiple times I've noticed in different places, brushing the teeth is given. Because the mouth has to be actually clean. It shouldn't be stinking. Because when we are chanting the various, when we are chanting the Maha Mantra or when we are singing, etc., it should be clean. Because we are approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And obviously taking bath. There's no question of not taking bath. And especially this taking bath thing, let me elaborate. So whenever we go and attend nature's call, that is passing stool, immediately after that one has to take bath and change clothes. Yes. So n number of times we go to pass stool, n number of times we have to take bath. But this has to be done for a person who is doing deity worship, because that is considered as impure. So this taking bath is very important. At least this much we have to do. Not taking bath, being clean, and then approaching the altar. Yes. And then the other thing that we have mentioned here is clean oneself internally. So while taking bath, we can chant the Mahamantra. So we can chant in the mind, when we are taking bath. And after taking bath, we cleanse ourselves nicely. And then after that, we wear clean clothes and put tilak. Now, the ones who are new, the ones who have been practicing for some time, we have to try our best to wear dhoti and utri. Utri means the cloth that we wear up. I'm talking about the men. And Matajis can wear the traditional dresses, whatever are there. So this is what is really recommended. But then suppose we are very new, we are just chanting 1 or 2 rounds or whatever. So whatever clothes we are wearing, that has to be very clean, and we cannot wear half pants and 3/4 and worship the Lord. Yes, this is very very important, because see, just imagine, we are approaching a celebrity, not just celebrity of all the celebrities in the entire creation. So suppose we are going to meet a celebrity, will we go in chaddi? Will we go in half pants? So at least full pants can be over, and we can cover the body with whatever. So this is at least minimum thing that is expected. But the ones who are chanting 16 rounds, make sure, if possible, to wear dhoti and utri, yes, and worship the Lord. And another thing which Shastras talk about is putting tilak. This point, putting tilak. So as you see, I have put this tilak, Urdhva Pundra tilak, on the forehead. Like that, we put on 12 places. Now, this putting tilak is a very, very scientific thing. And it's very much important, because it actually brings us to mode of goodness. The ones who are putting tilak, they'll understand what I'm talking about. Yes. So, and when we put tilak, we chant various mantras. Like, for example, Om Keshvaya Namaha on the forehead. Then on just near the belly, that is navel, Om Madhavaya Namaha. Keshvaya Namaha, Narayana Namaha. Then on the chest, Madhavaya Namaha. Near neck, Om Narayana Namaha, Madhavaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha. Then on the right side of the belly, that is Vishnave Namaha. Then here, Vishnave Namaha, Madhusudanaya Namaha, Trivikramaya Namaha, Vamanaya Namaha. Vamanaya Namaha is on the left side of the belly. Then Sridharaya Namaha, Rishikeshaya Namaha. Back, Padmanabhaya Namaha, and down, that is Damodaraya Namaha. And whatever is remaining, Vasudevaya. So now, what is the science of putting tilak? Why is it like my grandmother, when she saw me putting tilak, and she was like, what are you doing? No, put little bit here. No, what are you doing? Now put little bit like this, it'll look nice. So we are not putting for looking nice. So when you're putting tilak, and when you're chanting this Vedic mantra, basically the holy names of the Lord. So it is described in Padma Puran that every tilak that we are putting, we get the benefit of constructing a temple of the Lord. Can you imagine? Every time when we are putting tilak, we get the benefit of constructing a temple. And Padma Puran says anyone who constructs temple here in this material world, their residence is constructed in Vaikuntha for sure. So in a day, now suppose someone is taking bath 3 times. So 3 times putting 12 places tilak, 36 temples are built. So, and that is one. That is the benefit that a person gets. Another benefit is the places where we're putting tilak, these are various important organs of the body and joints of the body. So when you're putting this, what happens is Lord is actually protecting those different organs. So we can be safe. Lord is protecting all these different organs, right? So in this way, when we are putting tilak, it has got a great science. Obviously, gradually one can do, but then if we can do it, it's very, very wonderful, very, very important also. Now, when we are dressed nicely in Vaishnava attire, now we approach the altar. So today we are not going to do waking up the deities. We will not open the altar now. But one important thing that we'll learn today is purifying oneself before doing any deity worship. And that is called as Achman procedure. So this is the Achman cup. I also have an Achman cup here. This is called an Achman cup, where you have an Achman spoon, and this is the cup which is there. Obviously, it comes in various shapes also. It need not be this all the time. So what we have to do is first fill clean water in this. And for the devotees who are second initiated in ISKCON, they have they have been empowered to invoke the 7 rivers in the Achman cup. So it's basically like they hold the Achman and cup, and then this is called as one mudra, which they put and they chant a mantra. and all the 7 rivers are invoked in the Achman cup. And after that, there are various other mudras which they are using. This is called as chakra. Then this is another mudra, and this is another mudra, which they use. Different. But then this is not expected. Don't worry. So simple. What we are discussing here is we fill the water in this, and we get Ganga Jal bottles. So just put 2-3 drops of Ganga Jal in this. That's it. And Achman, this is called as establishing of Achman cup, establishing the Achman water. So this much, we are expected to do, where now we establish the Achman water, and now this Achman water is used for various things. So today I'll be just speaking about purifying oneself. Yes. And tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we'll see the use of this Achman cup for all the services that we're doing. So how to purify oneself? We have to sip the water, right? Like we take the water, put it in the hand, and we sip the water. And we chant the mantra Om Keshavaya Namaha. This is the first 3 times we'll be sipping, and 3 mantras we chant Om Keshavaya Namaha. Yes. And similarly, 2 more times we will do and chant. Second time we'll chant as Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha. These 3 mantras. Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha. So this sipping of water is very, very purifying, because firstly, we are associating with Ganga, which is the water which has washed the lotus feet of the Lord. And other thing that we're doing is we are chanting the holy names of the Lord, and we are associating with the holy waters and the holy name. So this purifies a person and makes him eligible to do deity worship. Yes. So in this way, before doing any seva, as soon as we get ready and come, the first thing that we have to do is fill the Achman cup with pure water, and then put few drops of Ganga Jal, and then sip the water 3 times and chant the respective mantras. That is Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha. And after doing this only, we can go ahead and do other services, which we'll discuss tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Yes. So this is the procedure that we have discussed for today. Abhigamana, that is when we get up, what are we supposed to do? While taking bath, what are we supposed to do? After taking bath, the clothes we have to wear, and the tilak that we have to put. And finally, after doing all that, when we come near the altar, establishing the Achman water and sipping the water for purification. Yes. And then now the person is qualified, eligible. Now he can, or she or he can do the deity worship. Yes. So in this way, today's discussion was all about understanding why deity worship in Kali Yuga, understanding the benefits of deity worship, understanding the mood of deity worship. Yes. And also, we discussed just now the Panchanga puja, and in that, the first thing, that is Abhigamana, and we also discussed how to do Achman. So tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll discuss about waking up the deities. By the way, we also discussed about setting the altar. We understood the importance of having those specific photos in the altar. So tomorrow, what we'll discuss is how to wake up the deities, how to offer bhoga, and how to put the deities to rest. So these are the 3 things that we'll discuss tomorrow. And we'll see how Yashoda Maya was doing in Krishna Leela, and how Sachi Mata was doing in Gaur Leela, and how Srimati Radharani was serving Krishna. And we'll see that how little bit we can also follow in their footsteps and try to do. So this is what will be the discussion for tomorrow. So we have got 15 minutes. I open up for questions now. There are 215 devotees here, and there are 50 devotees on YouTube. So please make sure when you're asking questions, just ask questions related to today's topic. Don't ask questions to the next topic. If you're asking questions on today's topic, then it's easy for going back to the same point, and it will be a refresh or reiterating the same point. It will be good. Yes, please go ahead and ask questions. So I see the first question. What can we do if we don't have Ganga Jal? Oh, you can get it anywhere now. Amazon, Flipkart, everywhere is available. Just order it. If you don't have, order it. Can any photo painted by us also be kept in the altar? Actually, if we can have photos of the deities which are worshipped in the temple, in ISKCON temples. So in ISKCON temples, Prabhupada made it very, very strict that the deity should be carved in a specific way as given in Shastra. And then, okay, let me tell you how the deities are installed in all the ISKCON temples. So there are 5 things that they do, 5 procedures are there. The first thing that is done is, a living stone is selected. A living stone has got some characteristics. And from that, a beautiful deity is carved. Now, this deity is carved in accordance to what is given in Shastra. It's not carved just by imagination. In accordance to the Shastra, the different features and forms, etc., etc. And after that, there is something called as installation of the deities, prana pratishtha, where many senior devotees, they come together and they offer various prayers and chant various mantras by touching various limbs of the body of the Lord and invoke the Lord in the deity form. Various yagyas are done at that particular point where lots and lots of Vedic hymns are chanted, and Lord is invoked with all awe and reverence, in that particular place. Now that deity and the Lord are non-different. So when we are worshipping the photo, of that particular deity, then we also get the benefit of worshipping that personality who has been invoked, in that particular deity. Yes. So Lord is personally present. Now, when it comes to painting, how far our painting will be perfect? It will be difficult, isn't it? So painting, etc., is not very much recommended. But then the photos of the deities in the temple is what is recommended. Sri Krishna is avatar of Krishna. Krishna is Krishna. You just add Sri, for respect. Can we set altar according to ISKCON rules without taking initiation? Yeah. So when it comes to initiation, so after initiation, the person is allowed to get deities, Archa Vigraha, by after taking permission from the spiritual master. So this is before initiation thing only, whatever I have spoken. And whatever I will be speaking, it's for everyone, all the newcomers, and obviously all the ones who are initiated also, the procedure will remain the same, but the altar is different. Where in the altar, the ones who are not initiated, the ones who are newcomers, they will have just photos. They cannot have deities. This is what has been told. If you read Prabhupada's purpose, Prabhupada is very clear about this particular thing. So yes, we can set. We can set. There is no need of taking initiation, to start worshipping the photos, of the Lord. I live in Pakistan. We cannot have Gangajal here. What to do? Oh, may you contact me personally. We'll discuss over WhatsApp. Very wonderful. Okay, how to invoke 7 rivers in Achman Cup? So that can only be done by the second initiated devotees. No, it's not about, everyone cannot do that, because the mudras that I just showed, that can be done only by the second initiated devotees, and others cannot do. In fact, right from childhood, I've got a lot of inquisitiveness for deity worship. So most of the things that I've learned in deity worship is by observing and by watching various videos and reading myself. So when I started practicing Krishna consciousness, I had a lot of kida in me that explore more and more deity worship. I explored all the mudras. I started practicing all the mudras and perfected practicing all that, and then understood how to do. So I showed you 3 times sipping the water and this chanting the mantra. There is something called as full Achman, which has 24 names of Lord Krishna, which is done by second initiated devotees. So now I was doing that before getting initiation, all that. And then I started discussing with my mentor. So Amrendra was my mentor at that time. He literally scolded me, saying, "Who told you to do all this? Because it's not correct. If we are not second initiated, it means we are not empowered, to do that particular thing. So we shouldn't do. So we should do things according to our adhikar. So our adhikar as of now is put Ganga Jal in the water and sip 3 times, and that is purifying, for us. That's what is expected also from us, not more than that as of now. So no need to think about that. We who have come new eat onion garlic, so we should not put tilak. You can put tilak. You can take permission of Srila Prabhupada mentally and put tilak and pray to Prabhupada that someday please give me inspiration just to have prasadam. Kanti mala is a thing. Once who have onion garlic, they cannot have kanti mala. They cannot wear. Tilak can be put, is what I understand. In what direction have the deities to face? Any direction not to be kept? This is a very specific thing. Normally, east direction is what is recommended. Other direction, I'm not very much aware about So maybe I can tell tomorrow. I'll just check out and I'll tell. But east direction is very much recommended. Where can we get the deity pictures in Achman Cup? Achman Cup, you can get it online. Tomorrow I'm going to circulate a manual, which all these information will be there. Not the theory that I just told, the various things that we discussed, but the procedure. Procedure will be there in that manual. And there'll be a drive link in which all the photos are there. So you can download and get it framed. All are HD photos, specially meant for framing. So you can do that. Can't we make Ganga Jal by ourselves by chanting mantra? That's what I said. If you are a second initiated devotee, you can. If you are not, you cannot. How is Achman on Ekadashi? If you are doing Nirjala, so it is said that the drop of water which is there, so should be, it's not falling. Many drops fell. It should be like just one mustard seed size of water. It's not like on Ekadashi we fill Achman cup with mango juice and other juice and then start sipping multiple times a day. So just a drop of mustard seed, only for those who are doing Nirjala Ekadashi. Others can do normal Achman. We also do Achman with Veda names, as has been doing that way. Okay. We worship Laddu Gopal. Okay. Achman cup normally be kept inside the altar. First, we need to open the altar, clean the cup, fill the fresh water, do Achman. So what we can do is keep the Achman cup outside the altar, on the table or somewhere. You might have a table for the altar. So keep it on that. At night only wash it and keep, so that early morning just you can put water and Gangajal and then do Achman. Or nowadays we have the altar where altar is there and below some other doors are there, shelf, so we can keep there. Sri Krishna is avatar of Vishnu. Why we are not worshipping Vishnu rather than Lord Krishna? Oh, I think I've answered this at multiple places. You can refer to my class on who is the real boss in Gita course, session number 8. Please refer to that. You can get it in the playlist. So there I've elaborately explained how Krishna is the original source and Vishnu and others, they are all incarnations. Can we complete our chanting before starting deity worship? Yes, tomorrow I'm going to speak about this. So we can open the altar, wake the deities, sit in front of the deities and chant. And after chanting, we can do the arti, no problem. What should be done to the photos that are already in the altar? My home worship Lord Shiva particularly more. So it's up to you. So it's like if you are convinced that you have to worship Lord Krishna, so all the photos which are there, those can be kept in others, some other shelf. It need not be worshipped. Or if it is a photo that is framed, we can remove the glass and other things. Paper that is there, we can roll it and flow it in the water. And if we have some vigraha of other Devi Devtas, those can also be floated in the water. This can be done. This is what is recommended. I was knowing this question will come, so purposely I called senior devotees and checked with them what to do in such situation. Okay, next. Can we keep Krishna statue alone or along with Radha Krishna? Which is better? Actually, we are not speaking about statue here. Yes, I mean we are not speaking about the Archa Vigraha. It's only the photos that are recommended for in the altar. Only if we are initiated by a guru, then we can by the permission of the guru keep the deities, and which deities to keep they will tell. What to do? We do if we have deities of metal before initiation and we have been doing deity worship for some time. So if it is the deity of Lord Sri Krishna, then we can check with our authority that what can be done, what procedure should be followed for worship. And we have to just follow. Now, whatever they say, we can just follow on that particular thing. Shall we keep small Krishna image in puja room? Big Krishna image you can keep. Why only small? You can keep a big. Tomorrow I'll show different altars that we have installed here in different devotees' houses and see how the altars are. If we have a big size of the photo of the Lord, then we can easily meditate on different parts of the Lord. If it's a small one, then we'll, everything will get merged. Eyes, legs, and everything, flute, everything will get merged. We'll not be able to understand. Yes. We have idols of Bal Gopal and Radha Krishna. Is same procedure for them also as for the painting. So as I said, the discussion is about the photos, Patachitra. But if you have already deities, then you can discuss with your authority, the mentor, and understand how to go about, what procedure to follow for them. Most of the procedures that we're discussing will remain the same, but still, have a word. Can photos of other gods be kept in the altar along with Lord Krishna? So, see, as I already started the class with, our goal is what? Our goal is to meditate on the form of the Lord. So, what is the need and what is the use of keeping other Devi Devata photos, across the photos of Lord Krishna? So, it's Krishna only, that we need, in the altar. If we are really so attached to other Devi Devatas, we can have a separate place, where we can have their photos, and the offered flowers to Krishna can be offered to them, something like that. Why photos of Srila Prabhupada and other acharyas are there in the altar? As I already said, it's only by their permission and empowerment we can do deity worship. Anyways, we'll understand when we go through the Aarti procedure. Now we'll understand that how we have to take permission from these personalities and then start the worship. See, as an individual, as a living entity, we don't have any authority. Tell me what authority we have to do worship. Like whatever we're going to discuss tomorrow and day after tomorrow, all that is done by Radharani and Yashoda Mai in spiritual world. Now, where are we in comparison to Radharani and Yashoda Mai? It's only because these acharyas have empowered us, and since they are allowing us, we can do. So they're very much needed in the altar, and we are eternally indebted to them. Without them, where are we? No, without them, no parampara, no bhakti, no devotee. So they are very, very important. Taking bath and changing clothes every time after using toilet difficult in our area due to water issues. What to do in such cases? Okay, so basically, when it comes to males, so we remove all the clothes and we go in towel, and we do the needful and take bath and come. Same thing females can also do. Whatever necessary clothes are there, they can wear and go take bath and come and wear the same clothes which are there. So basically, we leave the clothes outside and then we wear some minimal clothes. Those are needed to take bath. Sri Ram Navami, can we do puja of Sri Krishna deity? Yeah, why not? Why not? Please keep slide for some time because it would be easy for us to note down. I'll send the slides. Don't worry. I'll maybe immediately after the session I'll send. Can one worship Shaligram without initiation? No comments on this. Shaligrams can be worshipped only by second initiated devotees. But then if it has come in the family lineage, then we can ask our authorities and check with them how to worship Shaligrams, because Shaligram worship is pretty strict. It is not just like anything that we can do. I worship Udupi Krishna deity. Okay. Could you share the slides? Yes, I'll do that. Kindly tell the whole procedure of Achman. Is it like we have to take 3 times Achman water and every time recite different name? Yeah. So first time you put water, sip Om Keshavaya Namaha. Second time you put water, sip Om Narayanaya Namaha. Third time you sip Keshavaya Namaha, Narayana Namaha, Madhavaya Namaha. Third time. So that's what we have to do. If we have Sri Krishna Vigraha from a family tradition, then can we follow the same procedure? That's what, check with your mentor and understand. The procedure should remain the same, but then where to place the deity in the altar and all that can be understood. Can tulsi leaves be added to the water? No. In the Achman cup, we are not supposed to add tulsi leaves. Tomorrow I'll tell where to add the tulsi leaves. In this, only Ganga water, nothing else. While sipping water, we should chant mantra. Yeah, that's what I said. We sip and we chant. Om Keshavaya Namaha. My pleasure to serve. Initiated and second initiated, what is that? So basically in ISKCON we have 2 initiations. So first initiation is called as Harinam Diksha, and second initiation is the Brahmanikal Diksha. So these are the 2. And now I don't think details are needed for this. For the ones who are newcomers, you need not get into the details of it. First we have to come to 16 rounds, and after that we can talk about all this. So many processes for deity worship, Prabhuji, no time for all those in practical time. Taking bath after nature's call. Now, what I'm speaking is the most simplest thing. You'll understand anyways tomorrow, and maybe on the last day I'll summarize everything, whatever is there. So, and also while taking bath, it's not that we be under shower and dance for some time, sing song and things like that. Just put the 2-3 mugs of water and come out. That's what you're supposed to do. So, what's big in that? This is the most simplest thing that we are speaking. Taking bath. So, can non-Vaishnava worship the deities if he or she do not follow 4 rules recommended by Shastra? So here we're talking about devotees. This seminar is for devotees. So why the question of non-devotees coming? So they do whatever they want. Since they're not connected to parampara, now they are connected to their mind, and mind is the guru. Mind will tell what to do. So what is the difference between 2-layer and 3-layer tulsi mala? What are the rules to wear? There's no difference between 2-layer, 3-layer, 4-layer. You can wear 5 also. Yes. But important thing is one should uh, be following 4 relative principles, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and no onion, garlic, tea, coffee. So this is not allowed. Obviously, 4 relative principles means no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. Can we take water before bathing? Okay. After Achman, is there a mantra for washing hands? No, we just put water and just do that. That's it. Can we take water before bathing? Yeah. No, that's not a problem. At 3:45 a.m., we have to take bath and chant M mantra, Maha mantra. I don't know what you're talking about. I also get up at that time, so let me know what is that. I have silver Ganesha. What should I do? It's very expensive, and someone gifted us to marriage. What if we don't succeed in Krishna Bhakti and we lose other devas also? See, this faith should be there in Krishna that Krishna will deliver. How can we, it's like it's a material mentality. Okay, if this person will not help, at least I should have some backup. Now, Krishna eka sharanam means completely surrendering to Krishna. Yes. And what are other devi devatas? Let's understand it logically. No? What are other devi devatas? They're limbs of Krishna. They're different limbs of Krishna. No? So why this thought has to come? And Krishna is Paramatma. He's actually taking care of all of us. It's not anyone else who is taking care. And all these Devi Devtas, they're getting power from Krishna, to give us benediction and help us out in our life. And if you're directly worshipping Krishna, Krishna will help us in various ways. Right? And regarding the silver Ganesha that is expensive, it depends on you. If you want to worship, or what we are talking about here and the manual that is given, so we can keep that in some shelf or somewhere in the showcase or somewhere, or in the locker. Lord Ram and his Bhakta Hanuman are also worshipped in my altar. Please comment if this is fine. See, there is no problem. In Vishnu incarnations, there is no problem. As I already said, we have to be very, very greedy and intelligent, to see what the Acharya is saying. So Krishna here, Prabhupada is saying that, worship Krishna. We can do that. But there is no problem. Worshipping Ram and Hanuman, there's no problem at all. They are not the demigods. They are great. Firstly, Ram is incarnation and Hanuman is great devotee. So there's no problem. But then we have to ask the parampara what the parampara is saying. See, deity worship means what the parampara is saying, not what I want. Please understand this point very clearly. Can you please tell me what should be the size of the steps in the altar? Can I send you my temple photo on your WhatsApp number? Yeah, you can do that. It's the size of the steps, etc., that you can decide for yourself, depending on what size photos you want to keep. Depending on that, you can decide the size of the steps and other things. In case we are going out for vacation, then I'll miss doing puja, then it will be considered as an offense. So if this is Patachitra is the altar that I just displayed, only photos, no problem. We can just close the altar and pray to the Lord, and then we can leave and come back and resume whatever is our seva. So that will not be an offense. That will not be an offense. But then it's different. Yeah, it will not be an offense basically. That's what I would like to say. I have Yashoda Damodar photo, Prabhupada and Panchatattva. Don't have Radharani and Balram photo. Okay, we can have Radha and Krishna photo. That is very much recommended. Can ladies do Achman? Everyone can do Achman. I have seen Lord Ram Sita deities in ISKCON Juhu. Yeah, they are there. In various temples, they are there. They are there in various temples. Because, when it comes to the temples, they have the center as Radha and Krishna, and they have various other deities also, which are worshipped. See, ladies can do everything except for the few days in the month. Other days, ladies can do everything at home, in the deity worship at home. Okay, let me take some questions on YouTube. Should ladies also perform Achman? Yeah, we have to perform. Are photos of the deities available in ISKCON temples? Yes, available. And tomorrow I'm going to send the PDF. There you'll find the link. You can download and frame. I have Radha Krishna deities which made with plaster of Paris we bought in ISKCON. Can we worship? Not recommended. Not recommended. We can have photo because plaster of Paris not much service you can do anyways. At least photo. Tomorrow you'll understand the wake up service, deity resting service, and all how nicely we can do with the photos. So that's what is recommended. Okay, thank you very much for sparing me. So we'll end for today. We'll end the session. So tomorrow we'll start the discussion with the other parts of Panchanga which is there. Next thing that we'll discuss is about doing this waking up of the deities. What is the procedure? How to offer bhoga, and the third thing is how to put the deities to rest. These are the three things that we're going to discuss tomorrow. And the last day we're going to discuss the procedure for doing arti and different paraphernalia needed for the same. So thank you very much. Let's meet tomorrow and have more discussion on this. Keep your questions ready. Whatever questions we have, we'll try to discuss. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I pray to Srila Prabhupada and the entire Guru Parampara that they empower all of us so that we can worship the Lordships with a lot of love and devotion, with the mood of servant, and have a tight connection with them, a strong connection with them. And finally, at the time of death, may we all remember Lord Sri Krishna and go back home.